Welcome to Conversations with Jen and Mel. This show is about real life with real people, having real conversations, from better health to mental health and more. Let's check out the conversation right now with your host, Jen and Mel.
All right, so on Conversations with Jen and Mel, we are talking about, does it matter who makes the most money? And we've been having this conversation, and being a woman, it's a big deal. Like, it's a big deal sometimes when she makes more. It seems like it shouldn't be a big deal when she makes more, like it's all coming into our household, but does it matter if she can afford Gucci and all he can afford is Michael Kors? I'm just saying. Does it?
I think it matters for Christmas and birthdays. Because if you expecting a Gucci and he got you whatever from what's some stores called?
Listen, I just be glad to be thought about.
Okay.
I just be glad to be thought about.
All right. So I think it depends on, of course, it's going to depend on the woman, because some women will just be glad you thought about them.
Yes. And then other women need to know you spent some money on them.
A lot.
You could have paid a bill with that money. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
we could have went on a trip, paid the mortgage.
Yes.
Took a vacation.
Yes.
Yeah, no. And so we're talking about love versus wealth. And what I realize in relationships is sometimes the downside of having money, even if you're not the one that's making more, but having a lot means that people are looking for a lot. And so the question is, are they looking for you or what you can do for them? You know, are they really interested in you, or what they're interested in what you can provide? What being with you affords?
And I think that goes both ways, because there are men who say, I would rather be with the girl from high school before I had X, Y, and Z, because I know her intentions or her motives are pure, as opposed to, I just met you yesterday and you're looking at all of the bling.
I was single 2 minutes and 2 seconds. I mean, it was 2 minutes and 2 seconds, and during them 2 minutes and 2 seconds, dudes was lining up, and I was scared to death.
Okay.
Not to death, but to death. I mean, had then joined the yacht club, bought a yacht.
You bought a yacht? No. All right,
that I ain't had no business with. And so it's a different caliber of man.
Yes.
So now you got all these guys coming out of, and when I was a kid, it would have been like, oh my gosh, these are amazing catches. Like, but now I'm a therapist, so now I get to know too much about too many people. And so everybody's suspect. And been through a bad marriage. And on the other side of it, I was scared to death.
Okay, so how do you tell the difference? Is this love, or see after the money? Because I think a lot of, some of the stars like Sherry Shepherd, some of the other ladies. What's the other lady used to be on The View? The judge. The black lady.
Not Whoopi.
What was her name? Whoopi is not a judge.
Not Sherry Shepherd. I don't know.
The one before Sherry Shepherd.
Who was it?
I forgot her name, but she married that guy, nice looking guy. But it appears as though after they got married, it was all about, he was just trying to get his come up. He wasn't for the right thing. Why are you looking at me like that?
Now see,
she got a new show now, the judge lady. She do a different show.
I feel that.
But
I
think she's remarried now, moved on with her life. But at that time, it was devastating for her to realize that man
just wanted her money. And so then what? And so my issue was this. It was, what do y'all want? Why y'all not married and what y'all want?
Mm.
Why you not married and why you want me?
Okay.
Out of all the women you can pick, why you bothering me?
Okay. So your defenses was like, girl, just do something.
Listen, I wanted to know. I wanted to know what makes me different than the next girl. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, you got a type. All right. That's, sometimes I'm cute in the face and sometimes I'm a 10 in the waist. But then other days I'm not. I'm not. Makeup does a wonderful job. These Asians did us right. I'm just saying. And so I want to know what you want. Because it's 5 more of me somewhere. What is it that stands out so much about me that you're pursuing me? Especially when I'm a total stranger to you, when you don't really know me. Or is it that I haven't allowed you to get to know me? Or is it that you see the glamour and the glitz surrounded by me, so now you... Because then I was living at the 1300 East Lafayette. And so now I'm in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
And you got downtown, the stereotypical, in the bougie building. With the bougie boat, with the bougie people, and standardized.
It's so silly. Oh my goodness.
Because then it get real.
Yeah.
It gets real. And the thing that won me about my husband was he was real. He wasn't trying to masquerade nothing. He wasn't trying to play charades. He wasn't trying to bury the bones. He wasn't trying to... He was like black or white. There you go. That was it.
Okay.
And I'm sure there was some things, because I heard him later say, listen, somebody asked him why he had never been married until now, or hadn't been married since he was a kid. And until now, he said, listen, I ain't met a woman that can out-cook me, clean me, out-hustle me. I was like, oh, God, I can't never let my hustle go.
So he didn't come to you like, I don't understand.
He came to me. He wasn't trying to impress me.
Okay.
He wasn't trying to be impressive. He was just trying to
when
be.
y'all first met, was he dating or seeing and spending time with you with the intention of like, okay, I'm ready to settle down?
But our situation was different.
Okay, that's okay. But I'm trying to get to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were both like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah, let's see where this takes us. And so when we met, we understood that this could potentially be serious.
Mm-hmm.
And so he wasn't coming with airs. He wasn't. Yeah, he was just being himself. I'm sure at some point there were parts of him that he was, because I promise you, the boyfriend ain't the husband, but still,
okay. Right?
But not in a way that it's actually the husband is more gentle. The husband is more tender, more patient. The boyfriend is just more adventurous. Because we were always doing something.
Right.
We were always doing something, But it was his transparency. And so I'm going to tell you really, I wasn't sure. Really, I wasn't sure 110% until I needed him. And so you don't know what you have until you need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I needed him, he showed up. And it's amazing that God will put you in that place to show you and I understood it in my mind, the heart that he had towards me. I understood it, but a knowing
is different.
Is different. I understood he loved me. I understood that he's a brand new man and just an amazing man. And just, I understood so many things. But to know what you really have, you don't know until you need them. You don't know until somebody says, okay, I'll sacrifice myself for you. And that's when I understood what I had. But that love versus wealth thing, when you take a risk of having someone that's completely in love with, and hold on. You don't even have to have the money yet. Some people marry you or see you or are intrigued by you because they see the potential of you. Mm-hmm. They understand that you look good on paper and you got the potential to be, so they want to lock you down before you reach your potential. You know? But the interesting part about that is they don't always want to meet that person. I like the idea of the potential of you. But when you become that person, then now that person is, something that I can't compete with. And understanding that it was never a competition.
Right.
So love versus wealth. And it's sad that you have, those are the situations that you find out the hard way. You know, you can say that person loves you or they're there for you all the time, but it's not until you're in a place of desperation, you know, that you really say, wow. Or to that person has to sacrifice something for that you understand. Yeah, that's hard. So I understand. I can't even imagine being a celebrity out there and having to deal with the dating world and the dating pool. And I understand why they get caught up in relationships and whirlwinds with each other. You know, and so many of them don't go out of their circle because at least they understand, well, they've got their own clout, they've got their own audience. But the crazy part is that even in that, they can still become competition, because just because you're fighting on another level doesn't mean that there's still not that infighting.
Right.
You know. Yeah. So love versus wealth. What say ye?
I don't know, because I don't have that kind of money. I want to find out. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, for real, Jennifer probably makes more money than,
I mean, I have.
out of the two of us. This one here.
Oh, Lord, don't believe the hype.
Yeah.
I
And she spends more too.
I definitely probably spend more. Probably so. That started when I was a little girl, though. That was one of my mom's favorite sayings. Child, you got champagne taste with a beer pocketbook. 'Cause I could spend some money.
Well, now you learn how to make it.
But nah, I make enough. Yes. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to be necessarily on the other side of that coin, where, you know, I wouldn't want to be like a mega stardom and be trying to start over.
Yes, not today.
Because I think I would be the same as you. Well, I'm apprehensive anyway.
Yes, extremely.
I don't trust people like that.
Extremely. Okay, girls, okay, now this is serious to the ladies. How are you all okay with walking the streets downtown? Like, I'm just saying.
Well, a lot of people carry.
I mean, how are you all okay with men treating you like flesh and fresh meat and acting like vultures? And oh, they're horrible down there. I mean, for real.
Some people carry. Some people, I think, have learned to stay focused on the target, and you just keep walking. You don't give it no attention.
It's crazy. Downtown reminds me of a big Bilal. Remember Bilal used to...
You know Bilal still exists, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. But back in the day, Bilal used to be the hood. Remember when 7 Mile and folks was hanging out cars?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, ladies, if you got something and you meet your man and he hanging up the car, talking to everybody on the block, please don't tell him you have something. Please. Please. Yeah.
I think, yes. You have to use a lot of wisdom.
Yes.
I think if you're out here in the dating streets, or maybe even you're in a relationship and you're not sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And you know
Is
what?
it
I hear
real
a lot of
love,
people.
or is it just
I hear a lot of people
somebody
protecting
along
their
with-
assets now.
Yes, but earlier you was talking about how you don't know if it's love or people are along for the ride to see what they can get.
It's a whole lot of that. You know what? And what's sad is that we're talking about her making more. But what happens when she's making more and he's making crumbs, but she's still not making enough? But he's complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And she's allowing him to be. And she's carrying the family on her back. And she's tired and she's exhausted. But she's in love and she's stuck.
Well, is she in love? Does she feel stuck?
I don't even know if she realizes that life could go different, another way. Sometimes you've been doing something so long, like and I always say, this dysfunction becomes your norm. So when we're talking about just if she makes more, sometimes she's the only income that's coming in.
Okay, you said he was making crumbs.
Well, when he makes crumbs.
So that, oh Lord.
When he makes crumbs. I see so many women struggling today because she does make more, but she's still not making enough to carry a household. And instead of her being the helpmeet, she the help and the meat. She gotta, you know?
So she's taking on the role of the provider.
Mm-hmm.
And the man is doing what? Is he working on his
provides.
brain? Oh, okay. For some people, that's all they want.
He provide when he provide. But you know, as you get older, that ain't always the
Things change.
your backstroke get broke.
First of all, not everybody's backstroke is broke.
Let them keep living. Keep living.
Again, everybody's backstroke ain't broke. That's why you have these old men still having babies.
Okay, and then the
Because
old
the
men I
backstroke
know
was not broke.
The old men I know who backstroke wasn't broke. They just aged one more year and they broke. They just aged one more year. They just kept living.
And I'm like, with her sometimes. Okay.
Just live a little bit longer.
So I think in that particular instance, and instances similar to that, what the woman is looking for or what she needs is not going to be fulfilled by financial or monetary wealth.
I think
Because everybody is not looking for the same thing.
I think the woman is stuck. And I think,
Do she think she's stuck?
Mm.
Because she could be living her best life.
She's not. She don't think she's living her best life.
She don't think she's living her best life.
She don't think she's living her best life.
Okay.
And they don't think they're living their best life. And some of them have been able to get out of that rut. And others haven't. So sometimes we think about her making more, but sometimes even her making more, and we're talking about, it's levels to that. So sometimes he's making car wash on a bad day money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in Michigan, hold on, let's car wash on a bad day in Michigan, because you know that the weather gets really crazy in Michigan sometimes. So car wash on a bad day in Michigan money. And then you have her, and she's constantly and steady going to work, but they're constantly and steady in that same rut. And decades of it. It's sad, and I see it so often. Because it's interesting how you can strive to get ahead, but you're starting from so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to carry a whole family on your back.
Man or woman.
Man or woman.
Mm-hmm.
Man or woman. Anyway. So now let's just go somewhere else with this for a second. So what do we tell our loved ones when we see that they're stuck as women? You know? How do we even deliver that message to them that I've been watching you for decades now and there's been no advancement in your life and you've been stuck in a rut and yes, you got a man, but you more man than the man you got. I'm just saying, you just got a pair of pants. And while you got your opinions about everybody else, you really need somebody's advice. Or you need to listen.
Is that your friend?
There's quite a few people I know. We do therapy.
I think if this is your client who is coming to you for guidance on how to navigate this road, that's one thing. And your approach to how you put them little nuggets out there for her to come to her own conclusions. Whereas if this is your girlfriend, this is going to be a different conversation.
So what if that's not her problem?
If what's not the problem?
If she doesn't identify that there's a linkage between the two. Like, I'm coming to you because he cheated. Let's say that.
We had this conversation many episodes ago.
No, I'm saying. But no. We're talking about the same guy who she make more than and he make car wash on the bad day money.
And she's coming to you because he's cheating.
Yeah, but she's not coming to you to tell her how to handle that part of her relationship, because her being the head of that relationship is not a problem.
Yeah, but in my conversation with my friend, I'm going to say, okay, what's keeping you here? What do you like about being in this relationship? And if she comes to her own conclusion, that's the only thing she could put on the list is that because he brings some meat. Is it on site? So is that the priority? Because for some people, it is. But if you want more than that, okay, so what you got to do? What does it mean to you?
Wow. So sometimes it's a priority and they don't know it. It has become the priority because that has been the only thing that person could offer.
It's probably going to get into some other conversations about why you think that this pair of pants and the only thing that this person is bringing to you is that.
But, as human beings, we fear the unknown.
We do, but that's going to come out in the conversation.
We fear the, but we don't.
She's going to say, well, I don't want to be by myself. Yeah. It's going to come out. She's going to say it.
And I've been with him so long, I've been with him. We only been together for
20 years.
Yeah, 24 years. We only been together 24 years. 20 years, 24 years.
And that's what you want to do with that.
And that's what you want to do. You can only food does the same thing the same way, expect different results. Now, if you want more of the same, then just keep doing what you're doing. And let me know, is it working? Yeah. So what when they come back to you, not because they love you, but they understand that you provide stability for them? What when they deal with the inconsistencies of you, even in that place, in that low place, because you still provide a roof over their head.
And that feel like love.
It's consistent. It's something that they couldn't do for themselves. It's something that they hadn't had since their mother's house.
We talking about the dude that's cheating and who makes car wash money on a bad day in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
and you make more money,
Mm-hmm.
and he is consistent.
No, she's consistent.
Okay.
She's
So
consistent.
she's providing a consistency to him.
Yes.
Oh, my question to her is, but what are you getting out of this relationship?
But I love him.
What does that look like to you? What does that mean you love him?
Well, we grew up together. I've been knowing him most of my life. Been together most of my life.
I know a lot of people all my life. That don't mean we in love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well, what?
That's it.
That's not love. That's
No.
not love, boo. Because you know somebody all your life. That don't have nothing to do with love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know
That
what?
has to do with you being comfortable, not love.
So do we even know the difference?
Who?
Do
Me?
we know, do we know the difference? You know what? And so, do we know the difference? And so, okay, hold on. Let's talk about it. Let's go back to it. Let's talk about love and wealth. Being comfortable, because I know people who have provided wealth up front in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm flipping the role now. These are men. This is a man. And so have provided wealth up front in relationships. And the woman thought she was in love with him, but she may have never even loved him. But once again, it was one of those situations when he flaunted so much of what he could do, she fell in love with what he provided versus who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a relationship progresses and gets in hard places, we realize we don't even like each other. But we keep trying to go back and rediscover and rekindle what we had in the beginning, which was quicksand.
I feel like we also have discussed this in previous episodes, but she married him for money. She done said she married him for love. And some people are okay with that. Some people do marry for money.
Because when they break up, she crying. She loves him, but I love him. But I love him.
I don't care what she's saying with her mouth.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Do we really know the difference? Do we really know the difference? Do we hear the moments and the conversations that happen in between the breakup? Like, do we hear every conversation that we have? Because when you're talking to your friends, and so you're talking to your friends are listening to you. So when you ask where the conversation comes from, when they start coming back with some rebuttal, because they've been watching you throughout the process, all we remember is the good times and the worst of times, but we don't remember it was 5 years that we were completely discontented, completely unhappy, wondering why the hell we still here.
Mm-hmm.
Before it's over, and when it's over, oh, I was so in love. You go right back to the beginning. You forgot you've been miserable for 5 years. And at the moment they stop doing, you stop loving.
Okay. I think it's hard to have conversations with us because we hear things different. Mm-hmm. And we're not just listening to what come out your mouth.
That's a horrible
going on. So
we got it. You have to.
I'm not easily fooled by but I love him.
No.
Do you?
Really?
Or the other. But he loves me.
Do really?
He do.
Did that look like love to you?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm. The love don't look like that.
At all.
I'm so quick to tell somebody that. I am so quick to say that. Love don't look like that. That ain't love.
Try again.
Yeah. You wouldn't say that to anybody you love.
Mm-hmm.
When you all see people and they fighting crazy and they mean heart and disrespectful, but they don't treat their kids like that, but they gonna love you like that. Oh no, that ain't the love you want. You want somebody to prefer you enough to not kill you with their words.
With their words.
Yeah. And grown enough to be able to fight right. And if you're not grown enough to be able to fight right and you still got to fight dirty, you probably need to go play with some kids.
Okay.
No.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Conversations with Jen and Mel. Please join us every Monday at 8 p.m. for new episodes on Facebook, YouTube, Rick.tv, and the Rick TV app by way of Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Join us again next time on Conversations with Jen and Mel.